Good evening. I'm Stephen Snyder, and I'd like to welcome you all. I'd like to welcome you all to the 2018 Outstanding Alumni Awards Dinner for Georgia Southwestern. In its third year, this event has become one of GSW's most meaningful exercises in recognizing success, service, and affinity for a place that we all love. I would like to thank Karen Holloway, who retired at the end of the year, who began the planning process for this event. And I think Karen's here someplace. Where's Karen? Hey, Karen. And Angela Smith, who took over her for her a few months later. The room looks wonderful, and the crowd looks pretty happy right now, so that's good. Tonight we're celebrating 8 individuals who have stood out among their peers in areas ranging from art to athletics and almost everything in between. Every Georgia Southwestern graduate can share in your collective successes in the boardroom, in the classroom, the operating room, on the court, and as good citizens. While we honor these award winners, this is also an opportune time to thank everyone in attendance and all GSW alums for your connection to this campus. In the fall, we concluded our first ever comprehensive branding campaign, and our partners at the Tailfin Agency, the agency we worked with, were blown away by the amount of feedback through surveys, phone calls, and focus groups. All of you made that a successful process, and because of your help, we are now taking tomorrow by storm. Hopefully you've seen the latest edition of our new e-newsletter, and you know of all the events going on tomorrow, starting with a race and a groundbreaking. If not, please see Angela. She's in the back of the room. She will fill you in on the rest of them. Before I turn the program over to Ricky Arnold for our invocation, we have a special presentation. Established by GSW Foundation trustee Billy King, who's also the son of Dr. William King, former president at GSW, the Positive Influence Scholarship was created in honor of his fellow GSW alumni, Buddy Guth, Jim Buchanan, Jeff Baxley, and the late Jeff Bateman for the positive influence they had on Billy, especially at a critical time in his life. Their inspiration and encouragement will continue to influence GSW students now and in perpetuity through Billy's generosity and this endowed scholarship. Billy, please come forward and accept a copy of the endowment agreement. Ricky, if you would, invocation.
Before we pray, a couple of quick points of interest. I heard a phone go off just a minute ago. If you would, take a few minutes to silence your phones unless you're expecting to have a baby or something. And I would totally understand. Otherwise, this is not going to be very long, so let's go ahead and silence those. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight giving thanks for each person here. Lord, for those who are being awarded or rewarded for service, we thank you. Now, Lord, we just ask that you continue to be with the faculty, the staff of this wonderful institution, Lord, that we call Georgia Southwestern State University. We ask you to continue to be with each student here now and for those in the future. Now, Lord, just ask that you bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies and us to your continued service. We pray it in your Son's name. Amen. And if you would, enjoy.
Well, good evening. think everybody has their main course, and so we want to go ahead and get our program started tonight. I don't have to say this, I'm sure, but I'll say it anyway. Please keep eating. No reason to stop for me, but we do want to go ahead and get this program on the road so that we're not up here all night long. But I do want to, there are a few people that I would like to introduce before I get started with my comments. I saw that State Representative Mike Chokas joined us just a few minutes ago. And Mike, thank you for all you do for us. And so glad that you could be with us this evening. And it's always a great pleasure for me to welcome to campus not only a graduate of Georgia Southwestern, but my partner here in Americus in the educational world, the president at South Georgia Technical College, Dr. John Watford. You know, tonight is a really wonderful night for Georgia Southwestern as we honor some outstanding alumni. And on behalf of the faculty, the staff, and the students of the university, I want to offer our congratulations to Dr. Tina Anderson, J.P. Clemente, Richard McCorkle, Neil McGahee, Kay Hampton, Philip Brown, and our alumni awardees, Jimmy Peel and Pam Carswell, Dr. Carswell. I don't know exactly what you're going to say tonight, but I've been to enough of these to know that your stories and your comments will inspire us as individuals who work here at the university. It keeps us motivated to hear you talk about the impact that this university and your education has made on your life. And so before I even hear you speak, I want to say thank you for your words. Thank you for being with us tonight and sharing your story. As I mentioned, this is a great event, and you heard earlier Stephen introduced Karen Holloway, and certainly she was very involved in making this event come to life. But I also want to take a moment to recognize Ms. Rita Rowell for helping make this event possible. Rita has been with the university for a little over 6 years, and we had a nice visit today, and she told me that she is going to retire from the university, and I want to take a moment to congratulate her on a great career, great service to the university, and just to say thank you for all you have done for GSW. So thank you. We also took a moment, Stephen recognized Billy King and mentioned that Billy's father served as the president of GSW, may have served as president while some of you were here. And I certainly hope that if that was the case, that you remember that that was the case. If not, I'm feeling very bad about prospects for my future. But you know, the truth of the matter is that presidents do come and go. Faculty and staff come and go. But the one thing that is constant about this university is the alumni. You are the only group of people who are tied to this university forever. And we don't forget that we work for you. And the things that we do and the effort we put into this university is because of you. And we try to make this the institution that you want it to be, that you will be proud of, and that you will always come back and be a part of. So I'm going to talk a few minutes about some of the things that are happening at this university. But I want to tell you these things as an invitation, so that you will know that you are invited back to be a part, that you can play a role in shaping the future of your university, which I believe shapes the the strength and the quality and the reputation of your degree and will have an impact on your future. There are 3 goals that we focus on here at the university. The first is growing enrollment. The second is to improve our facilities. And the third is to become a connected and involved community partner. Now, I say all of those things are our goals, but we never waver from our overarching mission, which is to provide high-quality, impactful academic training to young men and young women who are going to impact our communities. But as we talk about growth, one of the things we started this year is the Southwestern Promise Scholarship. I hope you've heard about it, but if you haven't, we have made a commitment to students from the 56 counties of Southwest Georgia that if they meet certain academic criteria for their ACT score and their grade point average, that they are guaranteed a $1,000 or $2,000 scholarship to come to Georgia Southwestern. They don't have to make application. They don't have to come to campus for an interview. If they come from the 56 counties that we serve and they meet the academic requirements, they get the scholarship. That's a commitment that we're making because we believe our role is to support Southwest Georgia. They even put it in our name, and so it makes sense to us to be connected to those communities. We are expanding our nursing program. We are doubling the size of our nursing program. We believe we have one of, if not the best, nursing program in the state of Georgia. And we know that there is a need in our region and in our state to continue to provide and to meet the need for nursing. And we are going to double our program, and I want to thank Dean Sander Daniel for working so hard to make that happen. We are very excited. That will add not only students, but it will add to our ability to meet the needs of our community. We've also added new academic programs. Last year we introduced the long-term care management degree. That's one example of how we are developing interdisciplinary degree programs that we believe meet the needs of the economy and of our region. And so I want to congratulate the School of Nursing, the School of Business, the Psychology Department, and the Rosalind Carter Institute for Caregiving for coming together and developing an academic program that brings together the best of all of their disciplines and creates a new degree. We are investing in our facilities. Some of you may remember the old nursing building. Some of you may remember it as the old library. But just across the Hello Walk from us is what we now call the ACE building, the Academic Center for Excellence. We are only a few months away from starting a complete renovation of that building. Thanks to our friends in the legislature and at the state system, we're going to spend about $3.2 million to totally renovate that building and bring it back to life in what we think will be a very positive and exciting way for the campus. Tomorrow morning at 10:45, if you're still around, some of you may not have left campus by then, that'd be okay. We are going to have a groundbreaking for the new baseball, softball, indoor practice facility, which we are very excited to add. And on the drawing board for the future, we have additional building projects, the Flory Chapel Gymnasium on our campus, which is right in the middle of the Centennial Plaza. We are not even using that building anymore, but we are hopeful that with the support of the legislature and from our foundation, we'll be able to start the renovations of that building very soon. And we're also working very hard to bring the Griffin Bell Golf and Conference Center facilities back up to speed and to bring that building in line with Griffin Bell's great legacy here in Americus. Connecting with the community is also very important for us. Last week, or I think it was last week, we hosted the GISA State Basketball Tournament. We host the GISA State Wrestling Tournament. We host the GISA State Cheerleading Competition, football All-Star Game, baseball All-Star Game, softball All-Star Game. We are very excited about what they bring to our community and the fact that the community helps us bring those events to town. Institutionally, we're connected with the Ignite College and Career Academy, which will be going up as a part of the new high school. We have employees at the university who serve on the chamber board, who serve with the tourism department, who serve with the Main Street Association. We are active and engaged and connected to our local community, and we're committed to making sure that we continue to do that. So there's a lot of positive things happening here at the university, and we're excited to share them with you. And I'd like to take just a moment to introduce the people, some of the people that are leading this effort and making it possible. First, we have our Vice President for Student Engagement and Success, Dr. Laura Boren. Our Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Dr. Suzanne Smith. Both Dr. Boren and Dr. Smith joined us in July of this year, so they are new to campus and already making a huge difference here in our culture and in the way that our campus is operating. Many of you know Cody King. He may be back in the kitchen getting desserts ready. I don't know what he does, but Cody King is our Chief Financial Officer, Vice President for Business and Finance. We certainly appreciate all that he does to keep us moving forward. You will meet many of our deans later. I think all of the deans, actually. You're going to meet them. So I'm not going to introduce them individually, but I do want to thank them for their work in moving our institution forward and keeping us on the right path. Here with us tonight, we have many members of the Alumni Board. I want to ask those members of the Alumni Board if they would please stand and let us recognize you, and particularly Ricky Arnold, who's serving as our president of the Alumni Board. And there are also members of our GSW Foundation here with us tonight, including the foundation president, Doug Moses. If you guys would all please stand and let us thank you for your service. Earlier, I think it was yesterday, some of you may have noticed, Laura and I were riding in the car yesterday, Dr. Boren and I were riding in the car yesterday, and I mentioned this to her, and she had no clue what I was talking about. But if you were following any news at all yesterday, you may know that Bryce Harper, baseball player, used to play for the Washington Nationals, he signed the largest contract ever in team sports. He got 13 years and $330 million. Now that's amazing, right? But that's not why I'm telling you that. I'm just trying to put this in some context. There was a story many years ago about Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle is a Commerce, Oklahoma native, and being an Oklahoman, I always kind of appreciated Mickey Mantle. But he was one of the first Yankees to get a really, really big contract. And at the time, it was the largest contract in baseball. And somebody asked Mickey, what do you do with that much money? And he said, well, I spent about 80% of it on whiskey and women. He said, I just wasted the other 20%. So I tell you that because I don't really care what you do with the 80% that you think you have to spend on something of value to you. But I want to talk to you about what you can do with that 20% that you might waste, because you don't have to waste it. Every week, or at least every week that I can, I do a podcast and have a chance to talk about the university. And this week, Jimmy Peel was with us. You're going to meet Jimmy Peel a little bit later, and he did a great job today. But last week, I met two young ladies that go to school here, Thalia Castillo and Gabby Samuels. Really fascinating young women. Thalia took off from Spain. She couldn't speak English. She'd never been out of Spain. She got on an airplane. She flew to Atlanta. She got in a car with somebody that couldn't speak Spanish, and she drove here. And now she's a senior. She plays on our tennis team. She's been on the dean's list 4 times. She's been on the president's list 2 times. And she's going to graduate with a degree in marketing from our institution. She was able to do that, one, because she's an incredibly brave young woman who would do that, but also because we provided a scholarship for her. And she's been a huge blessing to our campus. Gabby grew up in Atlanta, and her mom was a high school counselor who happened to know a little bit about some of the universities in the state. And they came down to visit us. And she said, I didn't know a place like this existed in Georgia. And she was able to come here because she's getting a scholarship. Both of them are involved on campus on our marketing team. They're, as I mentioned, playing tennis. They're doing lots of things on campus. Gabby told me when I got here, the first year I went home pretty regular. She said, this year I went home at Christmas, and I might go home again on spring break, but I really don't go back much anymore because I love it here and I'm having such a great time. So when you think about what you can do with that 20% that you might waste, I ask you to think about the young men and the young women who are like you were when you were here, who see this as a great opportunity, who might one day be sitting at these tables so that we can honor them. There's a quote that I enjoy. It says, "You have not lived until you have done something for someone that they can never repay you for." And when you invest in the lives of our students, of these students, at your university, you are investing in someone who can't pay you back, but they might be able to pay somebody else back the way that you paid them back. And so we take great pride in honoring these individuals tonight because of their great accomplishments. And I hope that they show you what our students, what this university can do. And I want you to come back and be a part of what's happening here. I told you these things because we are inviting you to find out how you can continue to stay connected to your university. Remember, this is yours. This will always be yours. And so we thank you for being with us tonight. I hope you all have a great time. I hope our honorees have a wonderful, wonderful experience. Thank you for being here, and thank you for letting us recognize your great work. Let's get on to meet them.
Thank you, President Weaver. You know, I actually know that student, Thelia, personally. She was a friend of an exchange student we had here for a year from Spain, and she's a girl with a lot of character. She's awesome. So thank you very much. I am here. My name's Brian Parkinson, and I am the chair of the History Department, History and Political Science. And I am here to honor the work of Neil McGahee. And I am, you know, I've read your biography, and I am just in awe. I am just amazed with everything that you have accomplished. I am just quite jealous, actually, of the life you've lived. It's pretty amazing, and actually quite honored, and I really enjoyed speaking with you today. I really enjoyed talking with you. So if you don't know Neil, he was a history major. He graduated from GSW in 1971, but he was not a historian, did not become a historian. He became a photographer, a photojournalist, and that took him around the world. He went to, oftentimes I'd say, conflict zones, places where you're putting your life in danger to tell a story. He went to the civil wars in Lebanon,
which, let me just tell you, that's where I studied Arabic, and that's a pretty scary place to be during the civil war in Lebanon. He's covered presidential campaigns all the way from Carter to Clinton. He did NASA's Apollo mission and all the space shuttle missions. And he even covered the Jonestown massacre. Let's suffice to say, he got around, and he was rewarded for that. Not once, but twice, he was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize in photojournalism and came in second one year for his work. His work has been published in multiple books, and he's even published his own work, In Ordinary Time. And I have to tell you, I am very, very impressed and honored to have had you, not had you, but know that you were one of our graduates. Mr. Neil McGahee.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to say a quick word or two. Bella Flack, who's a very noted bluegrass banjo picker, when delivering the eulogy for his mentor, the legendary Earl Scruggs, said that not only did Scruggs teach him how to pick a five-string banjo, but he also taught him a lot of life lessons too. And he concluded by saying that one of the most noble things that a person can do is to share knowledge with others. I understand Fleck's statements because I was fortunate enough to have several mentors here, all Georgia Southwestern professors, who shared their knowledge, their book learning, if you will, as well as life lessons, which helped me in my career. Joe Kitchens, who is here tonight, was and Kent Soule, who couldn't make it, and the late Ruth Rowland, all imparted their knowledge of their respective academic specialties, but even more important, they taught me to think. And that is the role of a university, to teach people to think. And I carried that with me throughout my career. I wanted to tell you that photojournalism is so much more than just capturing an image. It's telling the story of people who are affected by the things that are going on in the world. And in order to do that, you have to be able to understand what led to the situation and how it affects the people, and then you can tell their story. So I want to thank all of these very noble people that helped me. And if there's any faculty, current faculty here, I would challenge you, when you go in your classroom Monday morning, take a look around, look at those faces. One of them might be someone like me that you have a profound influence on. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Liz Wilson. I'm the Dean of the School of Business, and we're here tonight to honor Tina Anderson. Dr. Anderson has established herself as a leader within the technical college system of Georgia. She spent nearly her whole professional career, I think, with TCSG in progressively responsible roles, and it's been my pleasure to watch her as she's progressed. She spent the last 15 years of her career serving as president. She's currently the president of Wiregrass, Georgia Technical College, which has 4 campuses, is that correct? And from 2003 to 2013, she served as the president of Moultrie Technical College. She was a 2005 participant of Leadership Georgia program, and is a graduate of Leadership Warner Robins. She was named Georgia Trends Magazine Top 40 Under 40 in 2004 and was named to the South Georgia Business Magazine's list of the 25 most influential South Georgians in 2005. Her husband, Tony, who is here with us tonight, Tony, thank you for coming, is a Human Resources Director for the Brooks County School System. I had the pleasure to teach Tina, and I have to say, two of the other honorees tonight as well. It's the tables are filling up with people I taught, so I'm feeling older and older. But I had Tina as a graduate student longer ago than either of us cares to admit. I think she was probably 6 or 7, and I was maybe 12 during that time. She is a bright, engaging, and consensus-building person. This is something that we strive to achieve and cultivate in our School of Business. As one of my students, Tina quickly learned that the correct answer to almost any question in human resource management is it depends. She tells me that this response continues to serve her well as she seeks to gather more information about situations. I'm proud of Tina's accomplishments, but I can't say that I'm surprised. As a former teacher, it is the ultimate reinforcement for what we do to see our students succeed. And Tina, I'm so proud of you, and I'm proud to introduce Dr. Tina Anderson as the recipient of the Alumni Award from the School of Business. I think I'm supposed to give you something.
Oh, I was so ready to
Am I
talk.
supposed to
I
give
forgot
her
my
something?
gift.
Here we go. Somebody's gonna take our picture.
We need to step out. Maybe it's the thing.
Back it up.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. I want to say thank you to the people who are at my table. My husband, Tony, who is in the Sports Hall of Fame here at this college. Tony, I think it's been about 20 years ago now. 10 years ago. I'm not good with numbers. 10 years ago, Tony was inducted to the Sports Hall of Fame. To my mom and stepdad are here, Betty and Doug. To Jody and Donna Dillard, thank you for being here. Went to high school together, and actually have been friends we went to high school together, so like 10 years, as Tony said, we've been in high school. And Barbara and John Watford, John's the president at South Georgia Tech. So I do want to say thank you. When I came to school here, Dr. Capitan was president here. And I remember sitting in orientation, and I was a little chunky girl from Ellaville, Georgia, and he said, "We are a teaching college here. We exist to teach you." And I remember thinking, well, that's just crazy awesome that they exist to teach me. And everything changed after that. When the president of the college tells you you exist to make sure that you're successful, that really does change everything. And what we do in the technical colleges, we hope that's what we do every day, is help change people. Representative Mike Chokas, thank you for the support that the legislature, the governor's office, that y'all give us. We appreciate that so much. And I want to say what it means for Tony and I. So much good that's in our lives happened because we came to Georgia Southwestern at some point in our lives. Tony was a football player here during the beautiful days of the football team, and I was, again, just a little chunky girl from Ellaville, Georgia. But when you have Dr. Liz Wilson in your master's class, and she says things like the greatest manager that ever existed is Andy Griffith because he had to manage Barney Fife, you go, all right, I'm going to learn what I need to. I'm going to learn what I need to from that, and probably still, and it depends, but let me tell you the other thing she says, that to this day, after being in higher ed for 27 years, one of the things she said to me that I think every single time I have to do this, she said, you should, when you have to fire somebody, and if you're in administration long enough, you should have to fire somebody. it should not be a surprise to them. If it's a surprise to them, you have failed to do your job by coaching them to a better place. And I've never forgotten that. That's a bad thing to have to do at administration, but they should not be surprised. When they walk in, they should know what's about to happen because you should have done your job, and I've never forgotten that. And I always say that at Georgia Southwestern, I have 2 degrees and a husband from here. So I think that I went away really, really good to that, good from that. But when I came to school here, and so this tell you how long ago it was, tuition and fees were $310 a quarter. And I remember thinking, and now they want me to buy books. Where am I supposed to get that money from? And so you would borrow from other students. You would borrow from instructors. You would have last year's edition and not the new edition. And so, you know, I think it's important for me to remember that's what I had to do. That's how I got through school. And I got through school in 4 years and then came back for a master's degree. But I need to remember that as students rely on us, that there are students that go, now they expect me to buy books. How am I supposed to do that? And as we've talked about here, raising funds for all educational entities is important because everything that Tony and I have is due to the education that we received in large part from Georgia Southwestern. So if that statement is true, and it is true, how can you ever do less than 100% for the students who fall under your purview, right? Because everything you have, the clothes you wear, the car you drive, the straight teeth you have because of the braces you bought, the person you married, the house you live in, all those kind of things are dependent on, you have them because of the things you were able to get in your education that allowed you to open doors. And that is so very true of us. Tony's actually retired now, and he jokes that he recommends it to everybody. So I'm a few years behind him in being able to retire. But again, even his retirement is in part because he has such a good foundation from Georgia Southwestern, and we met here, as I said. So this has been such a blessing to us, and having Dr. Liz Wilson as part of that was wonderful. And of all the things she had said, you know, you were young and you had great vision. At 50-something years old, you're just glad to wake up, nothing hurts, right? You're just like, oh, it all works today. So I'll try to get some exercise in. So thank you to our current administration here and to those past ones that have meant so much to us in making sure that people like little Tina Anderson, little Tina Kirby, at the time can carry on and do the things that they need to. And Dr. Liz Wilson's voice is in my head all the time because what she said was so germane to leading into the future. And we keep up with each other on Facebook. I have a talking dog. She just has regular dogs, but hers, y'all know her dogs. If you know her and her dogs, you know they're not regular dogs. But we do keep up that way, and it's such a blessing to stay in touch with the people that you are your heroes and that help change your life. So thank you to Georgia Southwestern for that. I have an award. Thank you.
Good evening. It is a great honor for me to introduce a recipient of the Outstanding Alumni Award, Joao Paul Clemente. I have known Joao for more than 20 years. He took my undergraduate and graduate classes in computer science and always was one of the best students. He received 2 Outstanding Students Awards as an undergraduate and the graduate student, which means that from today he will have all 3 possible outstanding academic awards: undergraduate, graduate, and alumni. Joao is a member of GSW tennis team from 1998 to 2001, was inducted into the GSW Athletics Hall of Fame in 2007. His journey to Microsoft began in 2003 when GSW received a grant from the NCR Corporation. Joao and several of his classmates were hired by GSW to work on programming projects for Motorola, Whole Foods, Robert Parker, and several more projects. Java became a team leader. At that time, he developed strong technical and managerial skills. Currently, Java is a senior program manager at Microsoft. He is a member of an engineering team that is responsible for general data protection, regulation, and privacy for Azure platform and services. Java is experienced technical and business program manager with in-depth knowledge in cloud computing, go-to-market strategy, and customer partner management. We are proud of all our alumni, especially of Java, who was able to reach senior manager position at Microsoft. Please help me to congratulate Java Clemente with outstanding alumni award.
So leave it right here. Let me open my phone. Wow, this has been amazing. It's so great to be back here again after a few years. We tried this in a few months ago, and I'm so glad that everything worked out for me to come back here now. I flew from San Francisco, and it just happened that on Monday I got a confirmation I got an okay from my wife that it's okay, you can go, you know. Because for those of you who don't know, I just had my first daughter 3 weeks ago, so she's 3 weeks old. And so it's been like, we almost didn't make, so I'm so glad to be here. So first of all, I'm just very thankful to the GSW team for always being involved and helping me to get here. You know, just to be here itself, it's been an honor, it's been a privilege to be part of this event with you guys. You know, outside of just receiving this award, it's just always so grateful for me to be back on campus. So first of all, I want to thank first my family. That's you know, unfortunately they were not able to be here because my wife, we just had a baby. My mom is there. My mom was going to come here, but she had to stay there. And my mother-in-law, so they are taking care of my daughter. So I'm very thankful to them and my entire family back in Brazil. I'm from Brazil, because without them, I wouldn't be able to be here and wouldn't be able to make it. You know, growing up, I had no idea this existed. You know, university in the United States. To me, that was like, it blew my mind when I heard first. So just the opportunity to be here is, you know, first of all, my family has been the ground for everything that have happened to me. So, and then the second of all was, you know, my tennis, right? Tennis, I came here because of a tennis. So I'm very, very thankful to Coach Sue for believing in me and offering me the scholarship to come here. Similar path to what the president mentioned. I came similar to what the Spanish player came. You know, I didn't speak English. I wanted to study and I wanted to play tennis. I knew those two things. And I made sure that what do I need to do in order to get out there and come to a university. And Coach believed in me in the beginning and then offered me the scholarship. I did everything I wanted to do. I mean, to pass all the tests that I needed to come here and join this university. And the first few months, I had no idea what anybody was saying, you know, the teachers as well. So I would sit on the teacher's class and I'm like, I remember to this day, my math professor, you know, I was sitting in the class trying to hide, you know, and then he's like, you know, can you answer the question? And I said, I'm sorry, I don't speak English. And then the whole class turned to me. And then he goes, see me after class. I was like, oh boy, this is it. They're gonna send me home. But no, he was so very nice, as so as all of the other staff members that I had the opportunity to meet here and then to teach me. He was, he's like, hey, let me know if there is anything you need. All of the things that I'm gonna be teaching here. Stop by my desk after class. I'll point you to the what I covered, and then you can study back in your dorm. And so that's what I did. And then I never looked back. So this has been an amazing history, an amazing opportunity for me. And GSW has been the foundation of everything that I've accomplished. And I'm not like Dr. Chen. I didn't get the 3 things from this school. I got 2 degrees and almost a wife, because we did offer my wife, when I was the assistant coach, we did offer her a scholarship to come here. She almost came here, but she ended up going to Arkansas. But then back then, she was just somebody else from Brazil that also played tennis. But paths just crossed that today she's my wife, and today we have a baby. So. Well, those are some of the things that GSW gave it to me, and I'm pretty sure it gave it to so many other people that came to this school and was able to get the education and build the foundation to be successful in their lives and be happy with what they have been accomplished and the path that they've chosen. So in all, I'm so thankful to the university, to all the people that were in my career and that helped me in getting me the education. I'm very thankful to the tennis family that I have until today. All of my friends, I still have many of the friends from the tennis family. To the computer science department, that became second family to me here as well. Dr. Peltzberger, since the beginning, was my teacher, was my mentor, and then also helped me succeed in the beginning of my career. Also gave me the opportunity to work at GSW. I worked here for 4 years after my graduation with my master's, both as a professor and also as a lead one of our projects that we did, as Dr. Peltzberger mentioned. So together with all of the computer science family, this has been an amazing journey, and I'm never going to forget. This is going to be part of my life forever. And the GSW as a foundation. Thank you so much. This is all. Thank you.
Good evening. Our mission in the School of Education is to motivate lifelong learning and develop leaders in education. Therefore, it is my honor tonight to introduce Mr. Richard McCorkle, an alumni who represents these 2 characteristics well. Prior to his retirement last year, Mr. McCorkle had been a staple in the Marion Tri-County school system for 3 decades. Mr. McCorkle began as an 8th grade history teacher and coach at Tri-County Middle School in 1987 and retired as the Marion County Schools Superintendent in 2017, a position he held for 18 years. And like most people do when they retire, Mr. McCorkle went back to work and currently serves as the executive director of the Chattahoochee-Flint RESA and has been in his position since 2016. In his time, Mr. McCorkle has also served on the school advisory boards for Columbus State University and Georgia Southwestern, as well as was a governor-appointed board of directors representative for River Valley Regional Commission. Congressman Sanford Bishop also honored him in the U.S. House of Representatives in 2017 in recognition of his retirement after 30 years as an educator and civic leader. Mr. McCorkle and his wife Marie are lifelong residents of Marion County, and they have 2 adult children and 3 grandchildren who are their world. Mr. McCorkle, I would like to personally thank you for your dedication to learning and leading and supporting our teachers and students over the past 30 years, and it is my honor to help recognize you tonight as an outstanding alumni for the School of Education.
2 things before I get started. I was looking at my watch to see how long I had. You know, when they told me I was being honored, I said, "Are y'all sure it's me?" But I'm going to tell you something. I feel blessed. I feel fortunate in my life to have been around such good people as I've been around at Georgia Southwestern, and the influence they've had on me through the years, and I can't say enough positive things about them. I do want to start off and recognize the people at my table. First of all, my wife. Been married to her a few years, and she's put up with a lot from me, but I thank her for what she has meant to me. I thank my parents. I'm fortunate to have both parents. I know y'all looking at me and y'all saying, and they're here tonight. And of course, they're a little, they've got a few years on them, but they can drive a car around town, so they're in good shape. And then I have my two children who are both teachers, and Jenny, who has taught 6th grade science for 17 years, and Rich has taught history for 10 years. And then my son-in-law, Stuart Jibo, who's also a teacher and technology director and administrator. And my daughter-in-law couldn't be here tonight. She's a teacher. And because she's home looking after the three most precious people in my life, and that's my two granddaughters and my grandson. Now, if you want to get me riled up, you start messing with my grandchildren. But I want to tell y'all a quick story, because I think education is so important. And I want to tell you something I've learned from really two or three people, or a lot of people in this room, but two people that have been really special to me in the last 10 years. And that's Mike Chokus and John Watford. And you know, I've been blessed again. Mike Chokus, I could talk the rest of the night about the things he's done to help me in Marion County, but more importantly, the things he's done to help the students of Marion County. One thing he did, I'll tell y'all right off, I wanted the governor of the state of Georgia to come to our new high school and talk to our students so our students could start believing they could be the governor one day. Because no governor had ever come to Buena Vista to speak to the students. And Mike got him to stay 2 hours at our school. That was a huge day for Marion County, and it's still paying dividends today. And then I've been fortunate to be a student at Georgia Southwestern State University. I've been fortunate to work with the education department here for many years, Dr. Abbott and her entire staff. And I've been fortunate to be on the South Georgia Tech Board of Directors since 2004. And I consider all y'all family. And the influence y'all have had on me has been tremendous. But let me tell you what all my professors at Georgia Southwestern and everybody that's influenced me, let me tell you one thing I've learned that I've remembered all of my life. And I've had more than one person say this to me. And I want you to remember this tonight. You don't remember anything else. They said the importance to education is if you'll get an education, you will never work another day in your life. And I started, what? And that has been true. Today I'm retired, but I'm working at Chattahoochee Flint Reese as executive director, and I was supposed to work 49%. I'm working 100%, and some weeks 60 hours. You know why? Because when that alarm clock goes off at 5:30, I jump up out of the bed. And the reason I jump up out of the bed, I love what I do. I love every day. You're a fortunate and blessed person if you can say that. I love being around students. I love seeing students I've taught. I love being around teachers because there's no greater profession today than a teacher. A teacher influences you long after you're gone. A 4th grade teacher of mine, back years ago in the dark ages, we used to have little assemblies right before for the whole school, and you know that's back when we read the Bible and said a prayer. And she told me one day, she said, "You're going to read the Bible before the assembly." I said, "No, ma'am, I'm not." She said, "Oh, yes, you are." And she shoved me out there. Well, it helped me. It helped me tremendously because it gave me confidence. And that teacher's gone today. but she's influencing me every day of my life. So I commend every person that teaches young people. It's the most important job in the world because we're all teachers in some ways. I want to thank every person that's been honored today or tonight or will be. You are so important. You are being recognized for something you've done that's special, and I appreciate what you've done. And I appreciate every person in attendance tonight. And as I leave, I just want you to know I feel blessed, I feel fortunate, and I feel honored to have been in the presence of each one of you tonight. Thank y'all so much.
Good evening. My name is Mike Leader. I'm the Director of Intercollegiate Athletics here at Georgia Southwestern, and I've been here 16 years, and my first 13 years I was the head men's basketball coach for the Hurricanes. And back in the 2006-2007 academic year, GSW embarked on a rather bold campaign to move the athletic department from its home for over 30 years in the NAI, and we made the jump to the NCAA Division II level and the prestigious Peach Belt Conference. And competitive success eluded us as we made the jump. At the time, we were not financially or emotionally ready to handle such a transition. And as the competitive success waned in our flagship sport, we knew we had to do something on the recruiting side. And many of you were here when I coached, and I don't know that I was a very good coach, but I prided myself on being a good recruiter. And the paths crossed in 2009 when a young man was getting ready to leave the United States Air Force Academy. He had spent 2 years at the Air Force Academy and decided that that wasn't for him. And he was about to collide with a head coach who just finished the 7-20 season and was trying to get the men's basketball program off the ground. And when I had the opportunity to meet Philip Brown, I said to myself that in recruiting, I went back to my days when I was in school. And when I walked into the classroom, and date myself a little bit, when the film projector was in class, I knew we weren't going to do anything that day. And I always enjoyed the National Geographic films. They were my favorite. And the one I enjoyed the most was the one about the penguins. And if you ever watched the penguins that would walk around the ice hole, they would all walk around until the first one went in. And once the first one went in, they all went in. And coming off a season we were 7-20, I needed a penguin. And I was fortunate that I found Philip Brown. And Philip joined the men's basketball program in August of 2009. By January of 2010, we were ranked in the NABC National Top 25. We spent 13 weeks there during Philip's career. A month later in February, we won the first conference championship in school history. A month after that, we played in the NCAA tournament, in the NCAA Division II National Tournament. That same month, Philip was named the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year, the first one that we had in our athletic program to be of such high honor. He was the Southeast Region Basketball Player of the Year. He was a consensus first-team All-American by the NABC. He came back for his second year after graduating with a psychology degree. I know Dr. Cotter spent a great amount of time helping him get through to where he graduated with a psychology degree. Came back for his senior year to work on his MBA. And Philip was the consensus preseason Division II National Player of the Year, and unfortunately went down with a knee injury in January. Didn't get to complete his senior year, but did spend 5 years playing professionally in France after he was done playing for us, and currently is working for the Los Angeles Clippers out in Los Angeles. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce the newest member of the Hurricane Athletic Hall of Fame and my first Penguin, Philip Brown. So come on up here, Philip.
Hello, hello. It's weird being realizing that I'm old enough to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. As Coach Leader just said, I just flew in from LA, so my arms are kind of tired, you know. No, but it's definitely an honor to be recognized for something that you've done in the past. It means a lot to be remembered for what you've done and be held in such high regards. And it also means that you changed the place that you came to for the better. And for that, I'm very honored. First off, I want to thank a few people. I want to thank my mother. You know, it's her birthday today, so I'll share this day with her. I want to thank my father and his wife for their continued support throughout my life. I also want to thank my girlfriend for traveling from France to be here with me on this special day. I also want to thank the Lawsons for coming down and showing their support as well. I definitely want to thank Dr. Carter, who was my academic advisor. She definitely helped me out. You know, I love psychology, and she was one of the people that was a big influence on me in that department, helped me get through. So I appreciate that. I also want to shout out all my teammates and my coaches. You know, without them, I wouldn't be here in front of you. So basically my story is I came to GSW as a lost 20-year-old coming from the Air Force Academy, not sure what I was going to do for my life, but I do know that I want to continue my academic career. So I came in here, and Coach Leader helped me get into school. I didn't play basketball that first year. You know, I enjoyed being just a regular student, and I really reveled in that. And there was one thing that was missing from my heart, and that was that orange basketball. And luckily, Coach Leader was letting me come back in and play for the team. And to this day, you know, that team was my favorite team. Coach Leader sold me on one thing. He told me about legacy. You know, you have a chance to come in here and build something that nobody's ever built before. You know, that really stuck with me. And, you know, to this day, our banners are still in there, you know, as our team accomplishments, and everything we did with the basketball team, you know. So for that, I owe GSW, you know, I owe my coaches, my teammates, my friends, and my family more than they would ever know. You know, this period in my life was a huge changing point in my life, and for that, I'm very thankful. And I'm thankful that I was able to make so many proud, and I hope that I can continue to make you all proud. I spoke about how this accomplishment, you know, everything I did on the court changed GSW, but in reality, it's really GSW that changed me for the better. And for that, I'm, you know, undoubtedly thankful for the rest of my life. Thank you so much, and I love you all.
Good evening. I'm Sandra Daniel, and I'm the Dean of the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. And I am honored to present to you the recipient of the College of Nursing and Health Sciences Outstanding Alumni Award, Kay Hampton. Kay's career has been one of service, either serving patients or serving students who then serve patients. And I might say when I read this, Kay, that really resonated with me, and I thought that's how it all comes together. Her nursing career began with her receiving her diploma from Orange Memorial Hospital in Orlando. She continued her education, and luckily for us, she came to Georgia Southwestern, where she graduated with her bachelor's degree in nursing, magna cum laude. She's going to share, I think, a little more detail about what brought her here and those experiences, but we had a very nice conversation this evening, and I learned a lot more about Kay than I did before. She then received a certificate in Health Services Administration from the University of Alabama in Birmingham and a master's degree in Nursing Administration from Georgia Southern University. Before she began teaching nursing, she worked a number of places, and she shared with me this evening that she really loved critical care, and I don't think had any intention of teaching at that point, as so often happens. She worked at Redmond Regional Medical Center in Rome, Georgia as the Assistant Director of Nursing and as the Education and Medical Units Coordinator. She's worked at Shands Hospital in Florida, and at some point she decided it's time to shift my career focus. And so she began work. I learned today as a clinical instructor, I believe, at Brunswick College. We now know that as Brunswick College is now the College of Coastal Georgia. She spent 25 years there, working progressively in responsible roles to include Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs. And then she decided to retire, but that was a short time. She returned there to serve as interim provost and vice president for academic affairs until she retired for her second time. Okay, I have a job for you when you get bored. Having established herself as a well-respected and prominent leader in the Golden Isles community, Kay has served on a number of boards and committees, including the United Way Investment Committee and Glenn Community Crisis Center Board of Directors. She is married to Brent Hampton, who is with her this evening, and they have one daughter and 2 grandchildren. They live in Darien, Georgia, a small shrimping village near Brunswick. Kay, we thank you for your service and dedication to the nursing profession, and it is our privilege to recognize you for your accomplishments as an outstanding Georgia Southwestern State University alumna. Well, thank you to Georgia Southwestern, and particularly thank you to Dean Sandra Daniel and the nursing faculty. As the other awardees have said, this is really a special honor and was quite unexpected. I would just like to say that Georgia Southwestern has been a pioneer for a long time, because when I came here in 1976, they were one of the very few RN to BSN programs in the state. And I did a lot of research, and the reason I came here is because they recognized my diploma in nursing and did not require me to repeat all of my nursing courses, because I was already married with a family at that time. So they were pioneers, and they were thinking out of the box way before everyone else began to do that. I was in the second RN to BSN class. We had 6 students. And I had been an RN for 10 years at that point in time. Dr. Dariso and Dr. Martha Bueller had a huge impact on my life and my career, and I have always remembered them for that. I was telling the dean, had not had community health, so we had to go out in the community and visit in people's homes. And I've not done that before. And I have to say that it was pretty scary here in rural southwest Georgia to wander off in the hinterlands and you didn't know anything about the area. But we did move here from Gainesville, Florida, just for me to go to school. So that is how important it was for me to be able to finish my bachelor's degree. And another pioneer is my husband, and I don't mean that for age. He has been my biggest supporter and was willing for us to make that move for me to continue my education. He has been a women's professional career supporter all of our married time, and that's been a really long time now. So I could not have achieved my career goals without him. I did practice nursing for 25 years in various acute care institutions and in various leadership positions. We moved to Athens, we moved to Rome, but that was all in Georgia, not the other ones. But I had no plans to change my career from being in acute care nursing. And then Brent, my husband, got transferred to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Brunswick, Georgia, where he was to teach. And so as we moved down there, I was about halfway through graduate school. I thought, well, maybe this is a time to make another change. And so I finished my master's at Georgia Southern. And while I was in that program, I thought, well, I'll go out to the college. At that time, it was Brunswick Junior College, and it became Brunswick College, and it was Coastal Georgia Community College. And now it's the College of Coastal Georgia. So I saw lots of name changes as well as other changes on that campus. I worked with our associate degree nursing program as a clinical supervisor. And having done that, working in college education really became a second career and a second passion for me. It is extremely important, the impact that nursing faculty have on students' professional careers and the happiness and success in the field. I'm sure all of you have had health problems at one time or another, and you do want a happy and successful nurse when that time comes, not someone who's dissatisfied with their job. While at Coastal, I both taught nursing as well as moved up in the administrative role. And then I thought, well, after I worked, we became a 4-year institution in 2009. And you can imagine the changes that took place going from a 2 to a 4-year school. So I worked as the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs the last 6 years that I was there, but it was just time for me to retire. And I retired in 2015 and was perfectly happy in retirement. And then I got a call from the president who said, would you consider coming back in an interim role? So I had not considered that, but said, okay, 6 to 9 months would be what I would be willing to do. And I did 15 months. But it was all just a great career. I've had 2 great careers, one in nursing practice and one in administration and leadership in higher ed. And I do believe that my nursing education here at Georgia Southwestern, as well as Georgia Southern, taught me to be prepared and to be able to work in a lot of different environments just by the priority setting, the decision making, the ability to move from one subject matter to another. In nursing, you have to be able to do that. And I really credit Georgia Southwestern with helping prepare me to do that. I'm truly honored, and I appreciate it, and thank you so very much.
It's great when they put your papers up here. It's bad when they don't have them numbered. I'm Ricky Arnold. I'm the president of the Alumni Association. It is a privilege to welcome each of you here. It is a pleasure to stand before you. I have a couple of honors to give out this evening. The first being the Lewin J. Finkley Award. Jimmy Peel is a GSW 2018 Lewin J. Finkley Award recipient. Resident of Stone Mountain, Jimmy has 35 years of project management experience working for such as Georgia Power, Southern Company, Merck and Company, Coke, and Nabisco. Earlier this year, he did like some of the rest of us would like to do, he retired. Since 2014, he's been with the GSW Alumni Board, and for that I'm extremely grateful. Above all, he's been on the fundraising aspect of it. A lot of you have been involved in trying to raise money, as you've heard from our illustrious president already, and you will hear from me as well. Sometimes those are not the easiest things to do. Jimmy's done this with grace. He's turned around in the last few years. He's raised over $7,500 in donations and sponsorships, not counting this year. He's a lifetime member of the Alumni Association in 1906 Society. He's married to Mary Ann Dean. They have one daughter who's currently, Kathleen, who is currently living in Washington, D.C. Hopefully she's able to correct some of the opportunities we have there. The Feakley Award is given annually to the alumnus who has demonstrated exceptional commitment and service to the Alumni Association and/or GSW in the past year. There's no one more committed or of a servant heart than Jimmy, and it's my honor as a good friend and fraternity brother to award you this award, the Lewin J. Feakley Award. Jimmy, come forward, please.
Thank you, Ricky. This is quite an honor. Before I get into a lot of thanks, first of all, I want to thank President Weaver for hosting this event tonight. Miss Christie, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Miss Christie, I'm going to say one thing, what I've heard about you here at Southwest, the kids love you. They do. So whatever you're doing, just keep it up. You're a great benefit to this institution. I want to thank the Alumni Board for nominating me for this award. It's been an honor and a privilege, and I will serve you for many more years to come. Secondly, I'd like to congratulate all the award winners tonight. Y'all are blue chips. I mean, y'all top of the cream. I mean, it's no one better. So thanks for being here. Thanks for accepting y'all's awards. And let's keep up the good work. Third, I want to thank my family. I got a great family. And I got a great circle of friends. And they're all here tonight. I want to thank them. You couldn't ask for a better family than I have. So thank y'all for being here. Now, I want to mention a few things. You know, you hear comings and goings about the younger generations, okay? You know, about they're lazy, they don't want to get off the couch, they want to play games, they want to do this. Let me tell you something. I got 3 nieces, a nephew, and a daughter, and they're outstanding. They're smart, they're hungry, and they will achieve what they want to achieve. And we don't have a thing to worry about because we've got generations coming behind us that will carry the torch on and make this country as strong as it's ever been. So I'd like to cover a few more things tonight, so you got to bear with me. One is a public service announcement. As Ricky said, I am the fundraising chairman here at Georgia Southwestern on the Alumni Board. I'm wrapping up my 2nd year in that role. So tomorrow morning, we have the fun run. Okay, it's a 1-mile walk and a 5K run. So y'all all invited. 8 o'clock in front of the education. And this is what you get. Let me tell you. Look, isn't that great? Look. You pay your entry fee, you get a $50 t-shirt. The entry fee is only $20. So come out, let's get a little exercise early in the morning. It kicks off a fun day here at Georgia Southwestern. Homecoming, we've got events after events after events. Now I want to touch base on just a couple other things. I know y'all's time is very valuable, so I'm not going to hold this podium very long, but I thought about this for quite some time, and there's 3 careers, that I want to touch base on. One is the medical career. Doctors, nurses, they take care of us from the day we're born to the day we move on. Great profession. Then we got the first responders. We got the sheriff's department. We got the police department. We got the fire department. We got the EMTs. Thank God they look after us every day. When we need them, they're there. But to me, the most important group that take care of us is the educators. They take us at a young age and they mold us and push us on, they counsel us, and they teach us, and they turn us into adults, and we move on into our different careers, whatever that might be. But this profession is the one that we all should be very proud of. And here at Georgia Southwestern, what we do with the scholarship program is amazing. It's amazing. We give kids opportunities to come to school, to get a higher education, to go after their goals, to be successful adults. And you couldn't ever ask for a better thing. So please, if you have a chance, do contribute to our scholarship fund. It is fantastic. Now I'm going to leave y'all with a short story tonight. It's something I've been thinking about, but I'm going to start it by saying that the year is 2022. It's 2 years from now. We have a young freshman coming into Georgia Southwestern. They come from South Georgia, and they come from a family of 7. There's mom and dad and 5 kids. Well, mom and dad, and this is the eldest of the 5 children, mom and dad said, listen, we can't really help you in college. We'll support you every way we can, but we've got to keep the roof over our heads. We got to pay the bills. We got to keep food on the table. So this freshman comes to Georgia Southwestern and learns about all the opportunities through scholarship, financial aid, the coaching that the professors do here. It's amazing. So this student starts their career and learns how to advance, and this student turns into a star student and graduates in pre-med, goes on into medical school, okay? Graduates top of their class in medical school, gets a job with a research facility, a nonprofit research facility. Now the year is 2032, 10 years later. This research doctor who started at Georgia Southwestern discovered the cure for cancer. Thank you very much.
You want me to take this with me, Jimmy? I will see him in the morning at 7, so that's it.
I want to make sure I got this 50.
I know it. I want you to sell that T-shirt now for 50. Mine wasn't much, it was 45. Our second recipient is for the Alumni Award, and she is Dr. Pam Carswell. After graduating from GSW with her Bachelor of Science degree in education, Pam went on to be have a very successful career in the profession that Jimmy just said, elementary education though, as a teacher in Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida, and later as an administrator in the Bibb County school system. Pam retired, that famous word again, in 2012 after serving 10 years as principal of Weaver Middle School in Bibb County. In fact, Weaver Middle School was a Title I distinguished school under her leadership in 2010. Pam has extinguished distinguished herself within her community outside of the classroom. Since July of 2012, she has served as the president and CEO of Keep Making and Bib Beautiful Commission, KMBBC. Under her leadership, it won the Georgia Affiliate of the Year for 5 years and won Keep America Beautiful Affiliate of the Year award in 2016. The Aeolian Award is given to an alumnus or alumni who has distinguished his or herself in their profession as well as in their community. This award is chosen based on outstanding lifetime achievement as a distinguished alumni and a community leader. Dr. Pam, it is indeed an honor to give you this award on behalf of Georgia Southwestern. Please come forward.
Well, good evening. Dr. Weaver, it is such a pleasure to be home at GSW. May I start out by saying I am very humbled and honored to be here tonight to accept this award. I would like to recognize the presence of my family that's here with me this evening. My husband, Lee Carswell, who is a 1976 graduate of GSW, and this is where we met 42 years ago. My two daughters are here this evening, Holly Carswell Staskell and Catherine Carswell Applin. I have three beautiful and wonderful granddaughters, Katie Beth, Caroline, and Annalie Applin. They could not be here this evening. Their fathers are keeping them so their mothers could be here with their mom. Also tonight, I would like to recognize a special group, and a lot of you know who they are. We're called the Sandlot Crew. We met here 42 years ago as 18-year-olds dancing right here on this campus. We have been together 42 years. They're very special and dear to my heart. Please allow me to ask them to stand so you all can see 42 years of friendship at GSW. Now, we were all Greeks right here at GSW back in the mid-'70s. So if you can think back back to the 70s, we were the Alpha Chi's and the Pi Caps who ruled GSW. Those were a very unique time. We share a bond and a friendship that started right here. We travel together. We share holidays together. We share special family events together, such as our children's weddings, football games, War Eagle and Go Dogs, and even births of grandchildren. How many of you can say that your big brother is here with you tonight that was in the fraternity of Pi Cap and I was an Alpha Chi? In 1975, I transferred here to this campus. I was excited for a new opportunity because I started somewhere else much larger than GSW. I wasn't ready for the big scene of Auburn. I enrolled here in the School of Business, but it came to a very screeching halt. I don't know if any of you remember Dr. Sawyer, in the business department. She looked at me and very quickly and politely convinced me, honey, this is not the area that you need to be. Business is not for you. Well, see, I came here looking for the MRS degree, so I thought it was in the School of Business. Now, coming from a family of educators, my mother, my aunts, my uncles, my sisters, I thought, no, I'm not going to be one of those educators. But she quickly convinced me that's where I needed to be. My classes and experience built my foundation for the future. Education was going through a major reform and new requirements. If it wasn't for Neil Suggs, I don't think I would have passed the Rising Junior test. But somehow I managed to jump through all the hoops, and I graduated with a BS degree in elementary education. My experience at GSW taught me as a young woman several qualities which prepared me for future endeavors. One thing I have to always remember, my father always told me, education is something that no one can ever take away from you. And in this house, you will go to college. I learned strength, which allowed me to take risk here at GSW and encouraged me to fight what I believed in and to never give up. During my tenure as a middle school principal, I had to be strong enough to believe in myself, even when some of the decisions that I had to make were not often agreed upon by some, but my goals always were to inspire others to do what was right for children. Number 2 was perseverance. In the field of education and nonprofit, I learned very quickly how unpredictable and stressful both of these environments can be. My determination gave me the ability to reach my goals despite the uncertainties around me. I had to learn adaptability. You see, I retired in 2012 with 34 years in education. I served as an elementary teacher, assistant principal, and I retired as a middle school principal because the children is where I wanted to be near. I will never forget the evening that the superintendent called me and she said, Pam, I have a new opportunity for you. I became very weak in my stomach. I knew something was fixing to happen. Change was coming my way. I moved out of my comfort zone and I went in. She said, you're going to be a middle school principal. I moved my cheese and stepped out of the box. That was 12 years ago. And it was time at the end of 2012, I knew at Christmas it was time to pass the keys. As I was on my way to HR to submit my retirement papers, in the elevator, I was riding up with one of our superintendents of instruction. We were just having a casual conversation when the door opened, and he proceeded to tell me, the superintendent would like for you to make an appointment, Dr. Carswell, to discuss how you continue to make AYP at Weaver Middle School. Now, you have to understand, my school went through major reform as well. It's called rezoning. As the door opened, I remember that day, and this is one of my, everyone knows me well. When it's over, this is my sign. I looked at him and I said, Dr. Judy, I'm on my way to retire. Peace out. The door closed and I walked my way. As I said, I'm on my way to retire. That was only a joke. I was retired 7 minutes. I walked across the street and I signed a contract with Keep Making Big Beautiful Commission, which is a nonprofit organization. We're part of Keep America Beautiful and Keep Georgia Beautiful. You see, I was contacted by Carolyn Creighton, the founder of the Clean Green Community of America and the founder of the Macon, Georgia International Cherry Blossom Festival. She called to tell me that they were in jeopardy of losing the funding from Macon-Bibb County government. We need strong leadership, and we need you to come with us. I contemplated for many days and hours. At my home on Sunday night, we have Sunday supper, where a lot of decisions are made in my family. I sat there and my children and my husband told me, you can't save every child, even though you think you can. It's time for you to pass those keys, Mom. And Lee always had supported me and all of my crazy decisions throughout my careers. But I turned the keys over to my assistant principal, Jim Montgomery. I signed that contract, and I had to learn to adapt to a totally new environment of politics. I thought I was in politics and education. I didn't know that litter, recycling, and flowers could bring on a lot of politics. It takes determination and grit, is the perseverance and the passion that I thrive on to reach my goals in whatever I do. For example, within 3 years of empowering teachers, we moved this non-performing school that they had given up on to make AYP and to become a Title I distinguished school. In my 7 years with Keep Macon Be Beautiful, we have reduced litter by 42%. We've established programs where every resident in Macon, Georgia has the opportunity to participate in curbside recycling. We have educated over 26,000 second graders to use best practices for litter prevention and recycling. We have built a network base of 7,500 volunteers. In closing, again, I want to sincerely thank the Alumni Association of Georgia Southwestern State University for selecting me this year as your Al-Anon Award winner. As Winston Churchill famously said, never, ever, ever give up. I will add to that by saying, never, never, never give up on your dreams. Even if you cannot quite see where you are headed and you can't quite see the light at the end of the tunnel, no matter what comes, no matter what circumstance, if you refuse to give up on yourself, then life's opportunities will give up on you. I know Lee and I will continue to support the storm, and in honor today of Dr. Seuss's birthday, I will end with a quote from one of my favorite books. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you know you are the one. You'll decide where you go. Dr. Seuss, oh, the places you will go. And one thing I want to add in closing, as I was walking up tonight with our Sandlot crew and our family, the students were greeting us tonight. I saw myself back in 1976 as one of those students. Dr. Weaver, this is a fabulous institution, and I feel honored to say that I'm a graduate of Georgia Southwestern State University. And again, thank you for this opportunity this evening.
Your name, sir?
Thank you. First of all, to all of our honorees, thank you again for what you've said tonight, for honoring us with your presence. You are truly special people, and we are pleased that you're part of the GSW family. Two things I wanted to mention. One, when we welcome the new freshmen every year, one of the things I do is I get them all to stand up and I ask them some questions. Would you like to be in a fraternity? Would you like to be in a sorority? Would you like to be in intramural sports? And I end with, how many of you would like to meet your spouse here at the university? And it never fails. Every single one of them sits down. But we've heard tonight that it can happen, and it's a good thing most of the time. And so I failed a couple things when I was up here before. And the first is to introduce the person that I met in college, and that Jimmy did such a wonderful job recognizing. Thank you for that. My wife, Christy Weaver, is here with us. And she is a big part of the team and a great part of our campus community. And so I'm sorry that I forgot to mention her. And we mentioned Karen Holloway and Rita Rowell, but I wanted to make sure to mention Angela Smith has taken over as our new director of the Alumni Association, and I appreciate all of the work that she's done, and I know she'll do a great job leading this organization. So thank you for putting this together and taking over for these two ladies who have retired but are doing a great job. So thank you, Angela, and appreciate it.
It's been a great evening. We want to thank each of you for taking the time to be here tonight, to celebrate with us, to reminisce, but don't be a stranger. We encourage you all, you know where we are, and we encourage you to be here with us. As the alumni president, it's a privilege to be here from the class of 76 as well. My hair was a little longer, but the friendships are there. The encouragement that we receive from each of us, from each of them, to continue on. And as Jimmy did say about the year 2020, good gracious, we don't know what the future holds, but I can tell you the future is exciting because of what I see going on here. As each of us, we have an opportunity to help, not for ourselves, but for the betterment of our world. And we see how the people from the world are here. And that is such an encouragement. So again, thank you. And fun run will be at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll see all y'all there. Thank you again.